Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan called on the United Nations to recommend the use of force in Gaza, invoking a 1950 General Assembly resolution known as Uniting for Peace. Speaking after a cabinet meeting in Ankara, Erdogan emphasized the need for international intervention, comparing the ongoing Israeli attacks in Gaza and Lebanon to historical precedents that warrant urgent global action.
The international community can no longer remain silent on Israel's thuggery that is setting the entire region on fire. If the Security Council fails to show the necessary will, the General Assembly's authority to recommend the use of force, as in the 1950 Unity for Peace resolution, should be swiftly invoked.
The Uniting for Peace resolution, passed in the wake of the Korean War, allows the UN General Assembly to recommend collective measures, including military force, if the Security Council fails to act due to a lack of consensus among its permanent members.
A handful of radical Zionists, blinded by blood and hatred, are setting the region and the whole world on fire. We will never consent to this cruelty and barbarism.
During his recent address to the UN General Assembly, Erdogan highlighted Israel's genocide in Gaza, urging the global community to not remain silent. He reiterated his belief that global peace should not be left in the hands of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council. Erdogan also pointed to Israel's intensification of airstrikes on Lebanon, claiming that over 1,000 Lebanese had been killed in the last 2 weeks. He pledged Turkey's support to Lebanon, both through diplomatic efforts and humanitarian aid, while criticizing Israel for not differentiating between military and civilian targets. The Turkish leader expressed his frustration over the lack of international sanctions or diplomatic actions to pressure Israel into accepting a ceasefire, which had been proposed by Hamas. He warned that Israel's actions were planting seeds of enmity that would persist for generations, accusing supporters of Israel of complicity in what he called state terrorism. Erdogan further stressed the responsibility of Islamic countries to lead the opposition against Israeli aggression. He noted that Turkey had recently delivered 30 tons of humanitarian aid to Lebanon and would continue to provide assistance as long as security conditions allowed. The escalation in Israeli airstrikes across Lebanon has drawn warnings from the international community, with concerns that the conflict could spread further across the region.